Hello and welcome to the third part of our tutorials here. This is Sticknia, superpowered skirmish game, where you draft a team of superpowered stickmen and dominate the battleground. So this is Corey. I will be playing the brown player.
And my name's Tracy, and I will be playing blue player.
And you, the viewer, will be playing the yellow player. So the first thing you do in Sticknia is draft your set of players. Now, we're going to play a three-player game. Usually when you play a three-player game, you'll go ahead and draft 6 heroes and battle it out, and you'll only be drafting 4 in like a 6-player game where you want to keep the time down. Of course, you could play a 6-player game with 6 heroes, but what we're going to do for this tutorial is just play a 3-player game, 4 heroes. So what we'll do then is we will deal each player 4 hero cards. And the way that you do this is you actually have to draft the heroes. So as you draft them, you put them in front of you, and then you pass the rest of your hand into the bag. These bags help keep them kind of secret, of the person who's next to your left. So what I'll do is I'll pick one of these, and then I'll put the other 3 in Tracy's blue bag. She'll pick one of hers, put it down in front of her, and then put the other 3 into your bag. And likewise, you'll pick one and put the rest in my bag. So I'm going to pick Flower Child. And let's put Flower Child down here on my playmat. So you'll notice that the playmat has a lot more cards. You can have up to 8 characters on your playmat, and there's a place to put your stick card, and then there are 2 little places where you can slide implements, and we'll talk about implements later when we look at the different types of frame cards. Then I'll switch over to your, and let's see, let's take Scythe here and make him your first hero. So then you'll draw the 3 or the remainder of Tracy's hand and pick one of those. Draft that one. And we keep doing this until all 4 of us have 4 stickmen to start the game with. Alright, so let's look at the stickmen that you drafted for your team. So first you have Scythe. I'm going to explain the cards here a little bit. At the top, of course, you have the character's name. Then there's a picture of the character. And then for some characters, they just have italicized text, which means that they don't really have a special ability. But Scythe here has a damage of 6, a resistance of 4, a life of 4, and a speed of 6. So his stats are pretty good. We'll go over to Karstack here. Karstack has a ranged special, which means that he can shoot people 2 hexes away. That's really beneficial because then he doesn't risk the chance of getting hurt in combat. Damage of 7, resistance of 2, life of 5, speed of 4. So I'm rattling off these stats, and basically here's how the stats work. The damage is just the damage that your character will do while in battle. And you'll notice there's a damage die at the top. So during battle, let's say Scythe and Karstack here, they were fighting each other. What they would do was both of them, if they're adjacent, let's say Scythe walked on up on Karstack, and they're adjacent to one another on the board, and they start a fight. So you'll roll the dice, a black die and a white die for each character. And basically what happens here is you take your damage die, add it to your damage, your resistance die, add it to your resistance. So in this case, Scythe did 12 damage. Karstack, you add those, that 3 plus the 2 would be 5. So 12 minus 5, 7. Karstack would take 7 damage tokens. Well, poor thing for Karstack, though, is that he only has 5 life. So Karstack would be removed from the battleground. But that's not it. He doesn't just kill Karstack outright. In adjacent battle, everybody takes the damage that they're going to take. So Karstack has also a 12 damage. And Scythe, Here it resisted 7, so 12 minus 7 would be 5. He would take 5 damage tokens as well, and since he only has a 4 life. So basically, in this adjacent combat, they would kill one another. Both of them would be removed from the battleground, mainly because they both had high damage dice and low resistance dice, and sometimes that happens in combat. The speed stat is just how many spaces a character can move on the board. Some other specials or special types. So there are a couple of different special types, and there's a range special, which we just talked about. An outcome special happens as an outcome to battle. So for example, Monk here has an open palm. If a 6 is rolled on Monk's damage die, double Monk's damage total for this battle. So it's an outcome of the die roll for battle. An alternative special means you can use that special as an alternative to declaring battle. So there's the stick cards. The other types of cards available in the game are the frame card. These are kind of some events that you can play. A battle card can only be used during battle, and it tells you what to do. So for this one, pants around your ankles. During a battle, you would subtract 3 from any stick's damage virtue. Turmoil cards tell you when they can be played. So for example, this one says it may not be played during battle. So once somebody has declared battle, you cannot play this card. However, you could play it on another player's turn, just not after they've declared battle. There are also counter cards, just basically counter the effect of another card or another ability. Then there are ally cards, like the Stick Dragon here, which allow you to place a new stick at the starting zone, and then you place this in front of you just like you would one of the other stick cards, and you get an extra hero. Then you have implement cards. Implement cards such as a first aid kit. So what this implement does is it gives whatever character you assign it to this alternative special. So I could give this to Flower Child, and you can see that I put the implement underneath the card, and if I need to, I can still look at what that card does underneath my hero. Sometimes they will just add, for example, it could be a sword or something, and it adds damage, or some armor that adds resistance, or a unicycle that adds to speed, or something of the sort, and it will just say what the bonus is down below. So those are the different types of cards. Alright, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Tracy and let her explain what her 4 characters do.
Alright, so I have Warmonger here. His battle special is to roll 2 dice for damage and 2 dice for resistance. And then I get to choose the highest of each set of dice. So that could be beneficial. If I roll a 6 and a 3, I can choose the higher number where I need it to go.
And I just moved a couple of dice over there for when you're playing. You can use all 4.
Perfect, thank you. Alright, so my next character is Shadow, and she has a outcome special of the Dark Saber. What this means is that when any stick gains damage because of her, because of a battle with her, that stick is automatically removed from the battleground.
It's her poisonous blade. All she has to do is scratch them and they die.
And then they're out of the game. The unfortunate part is she does not move quickly. She only moves 3 spaces, and her life is not great. Alright, next up is Chop Shop, another battle special, having the paired cleaver. So I get to roll 2 damage die during combat, and both of these damage die will do damage. I do not have to pick. They both automatically do the damage.
You're all about the extra dice in this game.
I'm all about it. I'm all about taking people out, one stick figure at a time. Alright, and last but certainly not least, the Insane Wizard. So I have some options with the Insane Wizard. I can just do a normal battle with damage and resistance, or as an alternative special, meaning I wouldn't be able to battle, I could do an arcane spell. So I would just roll a single die, and then based on the number, the effects would take place. So as you can see, rolling a 1 would be no effect at all, it just fizzles. But rolling a 6 would be a doom, and I would choose any stick to gain 4 damage tokens. And any stick on the board does not have to be adjacent to the insane wizard. So I'm all about the special effects here.
So now I'll go over my 4 heroes here. First I have Flower Child with an alternative special, Peace and Love. I choose an adjacent stick and I roll a die. If the roll is equal to or higher than the stick's resistance virtue, I get to take control of that stick. Meaning I basically take that card from the player who has it in front of them, put it over here, and I now control that stick. Then the second character here I have is Bounty Hunter. When a stick is removed from the battleground after Bounty Hunter has battled with them, Bounty Hunter's controller draws a frame card, which the frame cards are pretty powerful, as you may have seen a second ago. Okay, con, no special abilities, just a lot of life and speed. Griffin has a shrill scream, so when a stick is removed from the battleground after battling Griffin, all opponents must discard a frame card. So basically, Tracy's all about the extra dice. I'm all about gaining frame cards and making people discard frame cards.
He's going to be a hard one to take out with a life of 6.
And we've already talked about your 4 characters. The only thing to do now is our starting area set up. So you'll notice at the top of the board here, Tabletopia viewers, that there are all of the player tokens for all of the characters, and they're in alphabetical order. If you're playing this on your table, unless you keep them in alphabetical order in your box, you'll have to sift through and find them, unfortunately. Okay, so we are ready to start the game. First thing I'll do is I will deal each player 1 frame card. We each start with 1. So on your turn, or on each player's turn, you do 3 things here. The first thing you do is draw a frame card. So I'll go ahead and go first. Let me draw another card here. See which cards I have. Okay, a battle card and a turmoil card. Don't want to play those just yet. Then you move each stick. Now this is really important. You can't move, then fight, then move, then fight, then move, then fight. You have to move all of your sticks tactically, how you want to move them, and then you decide to wage battles or use their abilities. So let me go back here and look at who I've got here. Flower Child has a speed of 3. So let me grab Flower Child and just 1, 2, 3, moving her. Then I have Bounty Hunter with a speed of 3 as well. Con, speed of 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get right out in there. And then Griffin with a speed of 3. So I've moved all of my people. If I had a ranged ability, I could see if I was within range. However, I don't. Therefore, the third part of my turn, wage battles and use stick abilities, I can't do that. So I'm done. Tracy, it's your turn.
All right, so now it's time for, now I have my frame card. It's time for me to go ahead and move each stick. So I'm going to start over here with Chop Shop. Chop Shop has a move of 3. Alright, Shadow, she has a move of 3 as well. So 1, 2, I'm going to take her out here towards my viewer friend. Insane Wizard has a speed of 3. Warmonger has a speed of 4, my fastest moving character. So we're just going to add him out here in my collection. Alright, so, as Corey stated before, I do not have any ranged ability. However, I do have the Insane Wizard. As my alternative special, I'm going to use the Arcane Spell, so I'm going to roll a single die. Alright, I'm going to roll a single die and see what we get, see if we can do any damage. Alright, so, as you can see, I rolled a 5, which lightning, any stick gains 2 damage tokens.
Uh-oh. Who are you going to hurt?
And I'm going to go with Con, please.
You see how we're always taking it easy on the first turn on these viewers? see how that is. So I'm going to take 2 of these damage tokens. Damage tokens are the black ones. On the other side of the table for Tabletopia viewers, there are some white ability tokens. So sometimes a stick might have an ability that keeps racking up, and you would use those white tokens to track that. So Khan has 2 damage tokens on him. He's still got 5 of his 7 life, so he's still okay. He's not dying. Is that the end of your turn?
That, my friends, is the end of my turn.
All right. Let's see what our viewer does. They have a card in their hand. First thing you do is you draw your frame card. Okay, so we have a couple of cards here. We'll see if you need to use them. But for now, I'm going to hide them so we have more real estate here on the board. Okay, so first one, Slythe. Let's move him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Get it up there with that one. All right, so Karsak has a range special of 2 spaces. So the way that you do that is if Karsak could move into that space in 2 spaces, then Karsak could shoot. So it's very short range. Bounty Hunter is not within 2 spaces, because if Karsak was going to move there, it'd be 1, 2, be Slythe space. Now, on other tactical skirmish games and adventure games, there's all this stuff about line of sight. Sticknia is a very simple game. Plus, stickmen are pretty thin. They don't really block line of sight. So Karsak, if he had the range, could shoot through Slythe's space and hit Bounty Hunter. It's not a big deal. But since he doesn't have the range, the only person we can really do battle between would be Slythe and Bounty Hunter. So let's get ready to roll those out. All right, so we'll start with our damage total from Slythe. Slythe has a 6 + 1, 7. Let's go over here.
Oh man, double 6s.
Okay, so double 6s. Bounty Hunter has a resistance of 10 versus that 7, so takes no damage. However, Bounty Hunter did 11 damage to 7 resistance, which means Slythe would take 4 damage tokens, but Slythe only has 4 life. So before we resolve the battle, you can play a battle card here. So right now you're about to take 4 damage tokens, which will kill Slythe. So instead, let's play this battle card here. Pants around your ankles. So subtract 3 from any stick's damage. So that means instead of doing 4 damage, Bounty Hunter only did 1 damage. So we'll take a damage token, and we'll put a damage token here on Slythe. So Slythe took some damage, didn't die. The goal of the game is to be the last player with sticks still on the battleground. So I think at this point what we're going to do is go ahead and play through a little bit of the game, come back when it gets really exciting and there's the last few phases of the game so that you can see how this turns out.
Life is 3, he is a goner.
Alright, so that's 1 more off the battleground. So Karsak is 2 away from Warmonger, so we can use Karsak's ability, range special. So the way ranged works is you only roll your black die. Warmonger can't hurt him. Got a 3, that's 10, 12 total, because he's got the sidekick with him. So Karsak rolled a 12 on damage. Warmonger rolled all 4 dice, picks the highest, so a 5, 9 resistance, taking 3 damage tokens. So Warmonger will still have 1 life left. However, you have this frame card here that you're going to play, and it says right on it, play as the last card at the end of your turn, remove any stick from the battleground. So as the end of your turn, you will remove this stick right here from the battleground, winning the game. So you have dominated Sticknia. How does it feel to be the Supreme Overlord? How do you feel? You don't feel so supreme, do you?
I don't feel so supreme right now, Corey. I'm feeling a little sad.
So that is a basic tutorial on how to play Sticknia. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you again in our next tutorial.